Hello, my name is Eugene. Before the podcast starts, I want to let you know where you can find our podcast. We're on all streaming platforms, including Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. So make sure to follow and subscribe to all of our channels, as well as give us that 5-star rating. You can also check us out on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram at Spin the Rock to get updates about episodes and previews of our show. All of the links can be found in our description. Thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome back to the Spin the Rock podcast. I'm your host Angel, and with me today is
Eugene?
And Vaughn.
all right. We said it multiple times how excited we were for the NBA regular season because the off season was just boring as hell. We talked about how Dame was getting pulled out of trade talks last week, and then the Blazers decided to give us a middle finger and just shake up the entire league. So why don't we get into the news that is everybody's mind? That Dame, the three-way team trade for Damian Lillard to the Bucks. Let's start with the Bucks first. Dame is officially a Milwaukee Buck. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the trade as a whole? We'll save who win and who lost at the end of the entire talk.
It was definitely surprising. I think it took everybody by surprise. I think it's an interesting move by the Bucks, given they won a championship with Drew Holiday. But I'll have more to explain later.
It's a really good pairing in that they don't have overlap in the same strengths. Dame deep shooter, kind of a flamethrower, and then Giannis plays in the paint, knows when to kick out, and so I'm just thinking of all the pick and roll opportunities, how deadly that combo is going to be if Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic is any indication of what's to come. But this just feels exactly like the Donovan Mitchell trade in that no one really expected the Cavs, no one really expected the Bucks in this instance.
Mm.
It's certainly exciting to see how this will play out, considering although I didn't love the Bucks bench, they kind of depleted themselves even more. Like they lost a shooter in Grayson Allen, and now they're probably going to have to rely more on unproven guys on their roster, be it Marjon Beauchamp or whoever the rookie is. So we'll see how this plays out.
Right, they did lose a lot in this trade.
All right. And two other teams were, of course, the Blazers and the Suns. Do you guys want to start with what the Blazers got out of all of this, or do you want to start with the Suns?
Let's start with the Suns.
Okay.
This what I thought it was questionable.
Oh, yeah. So they got Yusuf Nurkic and what else? I forgot if it was how many picks.
I'll tell you. So the Bucks got Dame, the Suns got Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. The Blazers had those picks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not too sure why they downgraded for Yusuf Nurkic. That man has been a rock on defense. He cannot move after those injuries to his knees. I guess they wanted someone who won't take away shots from their big three, is just my guess. But even though Ayton, he never loved being in the Suns after that Pacers debacle and the Monty Williams thing. It looked like they kind of made room for him with a whole swap of coaching, and they looked like they just wanted him to be there and just to pull this off from Yusuf Nurkic. And maybe they wanted some more role players in Keon Johnson and Grayson Allen, but I don't know. I just see this as a downgrade for them, to be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. I think it was just probably that whole Ayton didn't want to be there. Ayton doesn't have, Brooke Lopez value, Robin Lopez value, or, probably whoever else, whatever other centers are on their team. So I think they were just more or less trying to get DeAndre Ayton out, but they didn't want to lose, completely lose a center, So I
Yeah.
feel like that's why they would have, or like that's the only reason why they traded for Nurkic. But yeah, the Suns was probably the biggest L out of this trade.
Yeah, that's why I said let's save our wins and losses because I knew the second we got the Suns, it was like it's obvious who we all think who the loser of this trade is. So I will say the only upside, and it's a tiny upside, but Nurkic isn't afraid to play like a center. He's not afraid to do center things. I feel like
Mhm.
Aiton kind of is too afraid to be the center. Not
Right.
afraid, but like it's clear he doesn't want to be the center on a good team. He wants to
Mhm.
be one of the superstars.
Mhm.
So like I feel like at least Nurkic is not like he will be the center. He will get the rebounds. He will get the putbacks. He won't try to do anything. He won't ask for shots. So I feel like that's the only upside. Other than that, I can't really see. I can't really see any upside other than the fact that like they've got rid of a toxic person on the team. So
Mhm.
Be like a contract thing too. Like
yeah.
in this instance, it's a win-win for Trailblazers because they didn't like Yusuf Nurkic's contract for the direction they were going in their rebuild,
Mhm.
and they just absorbed DeAndre Ayton's contract, which they want to like have him in their future plans. So it just
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah. And with that, let's move on to the Blazers. The obvious winners, like they got Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, the picks Eugene mentioned, and I don't think I'm forgetting anything else.
Yeah, they got the picks are a 2029 first round Bucks pick and a pick swap. And then they also got Tumani Kamara. I don't know who that is.
Mm. So let's talk about the guy who's staying on the team. DeAndre Ayton is on the Blazers. How do y'all feel about the way the Blazers are looking now without Dame and with another young guy on the team?
I'm officially excited. Now, they're not going to do anything, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Probably barely make play-in, if that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to see Scoot start alongside Afrani and Shaden. Um, it'll be interesting to see DeAndre Ayton basically take on the vet role, you know, in
Mm-hmm.
that starting spot. But I think they got, well, hopefully they got a good future ahead of them because we saw what happened to Dame. So, but yeah, I feel like if all goes well, they could probably end up like a Thunder, or like a Pacers team, But we'll see.
But they do still got at least from this trade alone, not trade, but like still on the roster, possibly on the trading block is Jeremy Grant at power
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
forward. So it'll be interesting if they can get rid of him or if they're going to keep him because like we all know his massive contract. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what team is going to be able to trade for him without hurting themselves in the process. But like, I guess it'll just be a DeAndre Ayton possible All Star season because I think if Jeremy Grant plays alongside him, he complements him really well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I gotta agree with Eugene on the other points. They're like this young team finally having some direction. That the Dame anticipation was killing me, and now we're here. So
Yeah.
good
It
spot.
is. They were a team much like the Pacers were that we mentioned, like in a weird like purgatory almost, or like are they going for a win? Are they going for the rebuild? Like what are they doing? And like I think with the Dame trade, Dame kind of made the decision for them.
Mhm.
So they're committing to the rebuild now.
About
Uh,
time.
yeah, yeah, for real. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got rid of Grant because Grant doesn't really fit that picture of a rebuild. But like it's also like it's gonna be weird to see what they do with him. If they keep him, that would be great too though, because he was killing it for them.
All right, he's hooping.
Yeah, so I'm excited for the Blazers now. I've been a Blazers hater and it's only because people were overhyping them because they had Dame, and now there's nothing to overhype. So
I do see why it took so long for a trade to happen, because this is literally the Trailblazers' best player in their franchise history.
mhm.
Like, I know you got Clyde, you got Bill Walton, but Dame has been like the Mr. Trailblazer for them. So
Yeah,
Right. And
it probably
even
stings, but like they'll get over it.
right, and even like still doesn't even matter if he ends up being a journeyman at this point. Like he's the all-time leading scorer. Like
Yep.
he has
yeah,
every record almost. So yeah, he's always a trailblazer.
yeah. It is understandable, and plus, I like when you're trying to get rid of someone like Dame as well, who like was demanding one team. Like it probably took a lot this long because it was negotiation after negotiation. It was definitely a GM being like, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna listen to Dame."
Right.
All right, and then we hinted that Aiton is the only one staying on. Well, not the only one, but like the person staying on the Blazers because Drew Holiday is now a Boston Celtic. That's insane. I did not. Well, I saw it coming. I just didn't see it coming this quickly. Like the next day, Drew was out of there.
I didn't see it coming. Like, I seen those Boston Celtics fan pages saying, like, should we pursue Drew? I'm like, how like could we make that work? Because like we already got big contracts
Yeah.
on board, and just like, what are you gonna give up for that? And then that happened. I
Let me
blinked and it
rephrase.
happened.
Yeah, you're right. Let me rephrase. I didn't see it coming for the Celtics, but I knew Drew was gonna get traded. I was so shocked that the Celtics went for him, especially for what they gave. I think it was Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, and then something else. I forgot the other
First
thing.
rounders. So it was a 2024 first round pick from the Warriors, and then 2029, I think, from the Celtics first round pick.
So obviously, we'll start off with the Celtics fan. How do you feel about this trade, Vaughn?
You know, losing Marcus Smart hurt, but having Drew Holiday in return, you know, it stings a little less.
I bet.
Obviously, we gave up quite a bit for it. You know, Malcolm Brogdon, at least from the report, seemed displeased at the thought of being in trade rumors. So if he had stuck along, it might have like caused locker room troubles or not. It was just a big mystery box. But to have that like alleviated, not have to worry over it, that's kind of nice.
Mhm.
Even though he was sixth man of the year, I liked him last year. But if we get Drew, that's fine with me. And then the one that does hurt is Robert Williams. Like, you got a guy who gets drafted there and like gets absorbed in the culture and fan favorite. Definitely going to lose his defensive value, but another question mark was, is he going to be healthy for a season? And if we get Drew Holiday, who's proven time and time again he's available almost year round, it's just nice reassurance. Uh, Plus, like, I've always liked Boston as a defensive minded team, as opposed to last year they were more offensive heavy. So having a guy like Drew, it would be nice because like he can score, he can defend, he can pass the ball well, he knows how to get open shots for guys. So I'm pleased with that. I think one question I've had for this trade happening at all is if Brad Stevens just really wanted Drew Holiday that bad, or if he didn't want him to fall in the hands of the Heat or someone like that. If he was just petty, because I know the Heat still want someone. They got no point guard unless they're playing 38-year-old Kyle Lowry in the starting lineup. So, you know, good luck to them.
Me personally, bias aside, I still think the Blazers won this trade. Only it's just Robert Williams, you know, like he was such a big part of that team defensively, and I feel like you can't find a lot of that in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like he's arguably one of the best shot blockers in the NBA right now. So it's like to lose that, in my opinion, was like kind of big. And then on top of that, losing not only Depoy, but sixth man of the year now. That to
Mhm.
me that was also pretty big. Um, but I don't know. I hate that I'm gonna say it. I do like Drew paired up with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Uh, he's probably one of the more true point guards in the league. He'll set him up correctly. I wouldn't be surprised if he uh at least averages a double double. But I hate to see him on the Celtics.
Yeah, it's kind of insane, like how much the Eastern Conference has changed now. I will say, yeah, the Marcus Smart thing doesn't look too bad anymore. Drew Holiday is just like a better Marcus Smart in every way.
Mm.
Actually, can shoot when he wants to shoot. Is as good on defense and is also a really good playmaker. I will say, I personally think it's equal, as in like I don't think anyone won or lost per se. I think with the Celtics they needed a point guard like that can really just step up and be like the guard they needed, because their point guards have always been kind of iffy for Boston. And then with the Blazers they got six man of the year and a young center, but like they already have a young center. So now they have two starting young centers. So I wonder how they're gonna deal with that lineup. But all around, I just think it was a good trade. Um, Definitely will be interesting to see that Easter Conference Finals, or like even it could even be a second round matchup at this point. Like it will be interesting to see how that goes down.
The Trailblazers, it's interesting like to see this dynamic where you got DeAndre Ayton, offensive focused center, who's probably going to be trying to kill it on the scoring sheets, and then you got Robert Williams, defensive minded. So you can just interchange them just based on what your needs are
Mm,
per game. So
I think it could work, but there's also this thing called ego.
yeah.
And I feel like that'll play a pretty big role. Between who, I don't know, but uh, I feel like it could work. If they want to play hard defense, start Robert Williams. If they want to score
Mhm.
more, start DeAndre.
Yeah.
Um, but it'll definitely be interesting to watch, like how it goes down.
Yeah. I mean, they could pull like a Spurs and make their six man have starting minutes.
That's
So
true.
like Robert Williams or Aiden could be like a starting minute six man and just constantly like just interchange them. But at the same time, who's also gonna like in the guard position, who's gonna get benched? Is it Malcolm Brogdon? Is it like
Malcolm
who's
Brogdon will not be playing on the Trailblazers. There's no way. He's
you
getting
think he's
traded.
gonna you think he's getting traded?
Absolutely. He'd just be taken away from Stu and Anthony.
Yeah.
There's no
I
way.
mean, it's like the Blazers can really just like do so much right now because they can trade Grant, they can trade one of their centers now. Since they
Hmm.
have two wanted centers, they could trade Brogdon now.
And it's like valuable pieces. Like
Oh
teams
yeah,
want them, so it's like they could really like get something. Whether it's hopefully probably picks,
yeah.
or even a star player, which I doubt anymore. But
Hey, the Heat can probably get that card. They can, please, for the love of God, let us get this one. Third time's the charm. All right, and that's basically what has happened with the trade point of view. We have some minor news. I'm gonna start with uh, I'm gonna start with the least important, then go with one that's kind of surprising, then end with the funny one. So Mr. Beast is now a Charlotte shirt sponsor. Feastables will now be on everyone's TV screens for this upcoming NBA season. Not much to add. What do you guys think about this? How do you even feel about the shirt sponsors? I don't think we really talk about it much on this podcast at all.
I think it's just I don't follow Mr. Beast like all that much, but
Mhm.
it is cool to see that content creators are now, starting to show up in professional sports. Like we got Prime, in soccer, they're sponsoring teams, and now we see Mr. Beast on NBA now. So it'll be interesting to see like what content creators, brands show up in more sports, and even like make it to the NFL or MLB or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like if anyone was going to sponsor, it'd be the most filthy rich man alive on YouTube. It would be Mr. Beast. I don't know if this is a trend moving forward or not, but I think it being the Hornets makes the most sense. They just be doing anything but basketball over there.
I want to see him and Michael Jordan's interaction with each other.
Bro, I want to know. I want to see his face when he finds out how many of them are convicts. When he finds out how many of them like, oh yeah, Mr. Beast, this is LaMelo Ball, known for traffic, breaking the law in traffic. This is Miles Bridges, recently out of prison.
He beats his women.
Yeah. This is Brandon Knight, suspected to be part of a drive-by shooting. This is Kai Jones.
Terrible.
Just a menace to his own team.
And lastly, Book Knight, who was found passed out with a bag of Doritos and a Glock. Yeah. All right. That's all. I feel like there's not much to be said about that. It's just interesting to see for sure the break into sports that these content creators are getting. Moving on, the surprising news: Josh Primo, 2-way contract with the Clippers. How do y'all feel about this? Just last year, had a huge incident waived by the Spurs, and now he's playing on the Clippers. Not
Belongs
even
on the
a
Hornets.
year later.
Belongs in Charlotte, not LA.
I was surprised when I saw the headline. I mean, top 10 pick, essentially ruining his career. I do wonder why, what the reason was for them to sign him on a 2-way. Maybe it was just, we'll look past it, trying to give him a second opportunity because he's a good player, like nobody really wants to waste a lottery pick like that. So we'll see what happens going forward, especially on the Clippers. But
yeah, I mean, if Kyrie had to do side quests for the things he did, I wonder what they got Josh Primo doing.
Right.
Because on the outside, it just looks like a 4-game suspension without pay. And I wonder if that's like all they're doing.
Yeah.
Going through like classes and stuff. But I was definitely, just like you, surprised to see that headline. It was more surprising the first initial incident, like immediately he got waived. It was like so bad. The Spurs got rid of him.
Because it had to be bad, bro.
Like, they weren't tolerating any of it. There was like hardly an investigation. Like he was booted out. But
yeah,
it sucks to see someone like kind of risk their career like that, because there are guys who can probably hoop, and this guy is like full of potential. Like a guy like Isaiah Thomas is prove he can hoop, he can get buckets, and he still can't get a roster spot. Like I just seen him the other day. Like, hey, Trailblazers might need a vet. Like he's still trying to get his way back in the NBA.
Yeah.
So to see a guy like as young as he is, like try to just risk everything, it's kind of crazy. But I mean, if he deserves a second chance, I guess the Clippers see that. I can't really say for myself, but
I know.
See how that plays out.
I know Spurs fans were high on him. I don't really follow the Spurs. I just know like Spurs fans really like them. But at the same time, yeah, it's just like I wonder why Josh Primo. Like I wonder what the Clippers know that we don't, or see what we don't see. But yeah, probably the most surprising news to come out of this offseason besides like the Dame trade. And then lastly, Jimmy Butler Always treating media day as as unserious as he possibly can, showing up in his emo getup.
Turn my life into pieces. This is your last resort.
Yeah, I don't know. So funny.
Hey, bro, Dame sent him in a spiral, bro. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He would have sent me in a spiral too.
He's got to take his picture like for the year and that, right? Like that's got to be the reason. Like
I
the whole
mean,
media day thing.
I think so because last year when he had them like dreads, people used that picture for like almost like half the season. So it's like we gonna see the starting lineups, and he gonna have his emo picture sitting up there, bro.
I don't know, bro.
This is gonna be the meme of the year, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I was looking for, I don't know if you guys mentioned it, but do you think last year they tried multiple times to figure out a way to get past the dreads? Do you think this year there's just not going to show the emo picture whatsoever?
They might not. They might not.
Because
I don't
last year
know.
they were using 2K headshots. They're using headshots from like his rookie season. So like, and that like that was every once in a while. Like I wonder if they're gonna be like, you have to come and redo your media day picture.
Right.
Like we can't be showing this on TNT.
You gotta play game one in that. If he plays game one, they gotta show it.
Oh,
They got no
true.
choice.
Yeah, true. Because this one, like, it's not extensions or anything. Well, I don't know what it is. It has to be like he just got like a curling iron or something to straighten
Yeah,
it out.
I think he just straightened his hair.
So like he definitely could play like a game or two in that.
And then they would have to use it actually. So
Yeah, that's. But yeah, that happened today as we're recording this. So kind of
I wonder what he got cooked up for next year then. If this is
no facts. Couldn't handle the news that he lost Dame Drew in the same like span of like what 4 days.
yeah, literally.
All right, and that's all for news. So we're moving on to our main topic, but before that, we have a hot seat question, probably the last one of this off season, quote unquote. So what I'm gonna make it interesting. Is the Easter Conference more exciting now, or are you still just meh on it?
I think based on the like top of the talent, like they're just as exciting as you can get. But I think the garbage of the East is just the absolute worst of the league. So it's competitive high up, but on the bottom tier, it's not even worth watching.
Right. Like top 5, top 6, arguable. You know, um, it's high level basketball. Nobody's watching the Magic. Nobody's watching the Pistons. Barely anyone's watching the Raptors. So I don't know. I mean, I would. It's tough, because like, when LeBron was in the East, it was only LeBron, you know.
Yeah.
But now it's like you have more teams. I will say it's more exciting to watch. Yes, probably than ever before, you know.
Mm.
But like if you look at the Western Conference right now, comparingly to the East, I would watch more Western Conference games than the East.
Mm.
Yeah. Plus, like the bottom feeding teams in the West have made more interesting moves. Like Spurs got Victor Wembanyama, and then the Rockets went and pursued Van Vliet and Dylan Brooks to make themselves more competitive. Whereas it's basically the same thing with those bottom tier teams. But
Every year.
and then those top teams. There's like we just seen Drew, Dame. There's a lot of circulation going on there, even with moves. So
Right. And
yeah, I
even
gotta say,
even
it's
too,
just
like
fun.
with the bottom tier teams in the West, it's like you still have an all-star, or
Mm.
maybe not an all-star, but like a face of the team like a Luca or a SGA. So it's just like I feel like uh on the East you don't really have that for the bottom tier teams.
Mm. So really, from what I'm getting out of this, it's really the bottom teams are just dragging the East so down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. I've been the East supporter, but I'm gonna have to agree. I feel like every year it's the same three teams who are just straight up poverty. That it's like it's hard to be excited about the East because with the West, even their poverty teams are trying to get better. So we'll see. But yeah, that was our hot seat. Let us know in the comments if you are more excited for the East or not. And moving on to our main topic, which is the Spin the Rocks 23-24 starting five. The five players we're excited to have for the season, we think are the best going into the season. Um, let's go from center to point guard, like usual. And this is both East and West to make it a little bit harder on us. Because some positions just have talent. So let's kick it off with the center, which is basically Embiid or Jokic.
Yeah, not much to think about there.
I mean, I gotta go with the guy who just won the championship. I know Embiid got his MVP, but like, if you want a guy who best puts you in success, it's that man who used to drink a liter of Coke every day. That man. I don't know what it is. It's magic. He's got some sort of magic going on, but like
he's
he's
got the
just
secret stuff.
he really does. Whether it be scoring, passing, and just he's just an offensive beast.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jokic too. I love Embiid, nothing against him, but Jokic is just too dominant of a force, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jokic too. Shocker. Clean sweep though for the center. I mean, when you come off a championship, like it's just hard not to pick him as well. Um, but big shout out to Embiid. Like he's an amazing center. Finally got his first MVP, but you can't argue against that ring. All right, moving on. Power forward.
This one feels like a two-way. Like there's only two you can really consider. I mean, either AD or Giannis, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like with Dame at his side now, I gotta go Giannis. Just I'm already imagining how hard it is going to be defending those two. You know, Giannis is a proven multiple-time MVP, a champion. He wants to add more to his resume clearly, so I think he's going to be on a tear this season.
and he's just excited to have Dame there too. So yeah, I think that's probably embellishes the argument as well. Um, I'm gonna say AD only because I'm just excited to actually watch the Lakers play. Like, there's no injuries going into the season. I'm hoping this is AD's redemption season. Um, but I really hope what we're all thinking doesn't happen.
Assuming that don't happen, they're really exciting because now they actually have a complete team at the beginning of the season, as opposed to
Mm,
trying to like scramble to fill in roster spots and find more better fits. I
Right.
think a big question mark is D'Angelo Russell. I know he's really good during the regular season, but like come postseason time, is he like going to show up or is it going to like disrupt? how the team flows, and AD and LeBron got to carry most of the load.
Mhm.
So that's not a question we won't see answered for a while, but I guess we're gonna have to wait on that one.
Right. But I mean, even still, I think you could say that about AD because it seems like some games he's just like shy, as opposed to a Giannis where he's literal the main option and can put the ball in the basket literally anywhere on the court. So
I wanted to say AD so badly, but you just never know. I'm also saying Giannis. I was this close to saying AD, but I feel like I just don't know with AD. It's not even injuries either. It's just like sometimes he just goes on an insane tear, just putting up insane numbers, and then sometimes he's like shooting threes for no reason.
bro, it pisses me off so much.
So like I want to say Giannis, I'm gonna say Giannis as well, but I really wanted to say AD because I actually do like AD a lot.
Yeah, I wanted to say just as a joke, but like the Ben Simmons every summer, the Instagram post, I'm coming, I'm back to old form. Every year it happens. He's in the gym cooking up his 3-point shot, and just you never see that Ben Simmons ever again.
It's gonna be boring as hell to see what Ben Simmons does. I'm not excited at all.
Not literally.
All right, small forward. A lot of good small forwards this year, especially because the main one just.
I
I'll
mean,
go bias. I'll say Jason Tatum. Like 30 points a game, what he's going to do this season. Maybe some alleviation based on Drew being there, but I mean, I got to go with him. I got to go with JT.
I just kind of want to leave LeBron out only because, like, he has nothing left to prove. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mhm.
Like, it's not gonna matter. But who else would be on the board other than JT? I guess.
Michael Porter Jr. I'm just kidding.
No, no,
Just kidding. I was gonna say Jimmy Butler.
Oh, true.
I feel like every year Jimmy Butler does something insane, whether it's a
Yeah.
insane playoff run, insane regular season run, or both.
Right.
I was gonna say Jimmy Butler. I expected to lose to Jason Tatum. I didn't expect Eugene to be on the fence. Well, I shouldn't be surprised. He's a Lakers fan. But yeah, Jimmy Butler, I feel like is an honorable, like is definitely up for contention in my opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's like, I mean, every player should, but he plays, at 200% every game,
Mhm.
And I feel like that's why the Heat love him so much, both, higher management and fans, because he doesn't leave anything or he leaves everything on the floor. Um, I can't necessarily argue that. Um, I like Jimmy Butler as small forward. Yeah, I'm not arguing Jason Tatum either, though.
Yeah. I mean, Jimmy Butler's also a good pick. Like, it's just a lot of stuff. He's built chemistry with the Heat. So,
Mhm.
like, there's a lot of unspoken things you can't even, like, measure on a stat sheet that he does, just like a leader and all that. So,
And he
that's
just
definitely a
really
great
wants to
quality.
win.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mm.
he's a dog. I'm surprised no one brought up Kevin Durant. Slim Reaper.
I only didn't bring him up because I'm thinking future. I'm thinking who's gonna be good this
Yeah.
season, and I just feel like on the Suns, and then I also kind of took account into last season as well, and on the Nets last year, even though he was insane, it's just like when is it gonna actually turn into something?
Right. And I'm thinking kind of like, is he only a regular season player?
Ooh, ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's looking for me. It's looking a little rough out here now. I feel like he's starting to get into that conversation.
Yeah. Like, how many all-time teams has he been on? And it took like the historically good one for him to get rings.
Right.
Like, he's had some pretty legendary teammates. And if it doesn't turn into success this season, I think a lot of people are going to be further questioning whether KD is a regular season player or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I just think it's hard. It's hard to argue how good of a player he is, but it's also like it's almost empty stats sometimes.
Mm.
Like it's hard to ignore the fact that like as good as he is in a regular season, at most they were like what, fourth seed? Like,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know if it's just the Nets were that bad with every other position, or if it's just like couldn't correlate in the off. It's like the drama. So I think the only reason why I didn't consider him as the starting five is because I feel like he has a lot more to prove than any other small forward.
Yeah. I mean, go back to that Nets team. They had Bruce Brown, DeAndre Jordan, and Jeff Green, and they literally just won a ring with Jokic. So
It's true. I would throw DeAndre Jordan in there though.
someone got to hand out the water cups, though.
Someone's gonna get the claps in. What about Kawhi and Paul George?
No.
No,
I
like
feel like
Yeah.
they're immediately off the table. And
if
it's not to knock on their game because, some of the best players in the league as well. But the whole load management thing, and we've never really seen prior to his earlier seasons, Kawhi play a full season. You know,
True.
like he sits out either because he's actually injured, or he's trying to extend his injury, or for no reason. So it's just like I don't know. The load management kind of kills it for me, and until I mean, I'm not anyone special, but just based on my opinion, I just need to see more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think the best case Kawhi had for best player, best small forward in the season would be his Raptors championship year. Like, other than that, like, just like Eugene said, we don't see enough of him per year, which is a good thing to bring up because I think there was a quote like yesterday or even today where he was like taking a jab at the league for these new like rules that like the load management rules, like taking a jab in it saying like he's not faking it, like he actually needs this, which I mean, if everyone can just see, like he looked like he can play, it's like he's not in a boot or anything. Like he can be out there playing.
Right.
So I don't know who he's lying to.
Yeah. It's definitely almost in the same boat as KD, where he has a lot more to prove than anything else. I feel like it's definitely going to be interesting to see a Kawhi Leonard, Paul George at the same time, Clippers. like like I can't imagine. Like I think I saw a stat that was like Taylor Swift has performed more concerts in the LA arena than Paul George and Kawhi have played together.
Yeah,
But
there's that whole thing where like she had a banner in the arena, but the Clippers didn't. I was like, well, I mean, she was doing something.
yeah, it's just gonna be. I'm excited because I am a fan of Kawhi Leonard. I'm also not delusional though, so I know that like he just has to play games. So I'm excited to see if he's actually gonna play at all this season, or if he's finally gonna start going on injury lists and like see the injuries they come up with for the reason why he's not playing.
Mhm.
So it's between Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum. Who are we choosing?
I'll go either.
Oh,
It really doesn't
yeah.
matter. To me.
You could coin flip that one, to be honest.
Damn. All right, then I guess to make it easier, who are you more excited to see play this season? Jason Tatum in the Celtics or Jimmy Butler in the Heat?
I mean, there's not an earth where I say Jimmy Butler in the Heat.
Right.
All right, so it's Jason Tatum.
Even me as a Lakers fan is saying that. So
It's Jason Tatum. I just had to phrase the question a little different. All right, and finally, I think it's been getting harder and harder because shooting guard is next. Who do you guys have for shooting guard?
Okay. This one's tough. You got Devin Booker with a KD. You got Don Mitchell. You got, well, I don't think anyone's going to say this, but Jaylen Brown. I'll throw his name in the ring. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, if we're counting him as a shooting guard.
That's interesting.
And
Kyrie
if you
Irving
count,
as well. If he's playing shooting guard next to Luka, you got Kyrie.
That's true.
yeah, and if you count Ant as a shooting guard, which some people
Oh, yeah.
do.
Yep. Oh, that's.
Wait. Are we counting Jamal Murray as a point guard?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, because
Because wouldn't Michael Porter Jr. be playing shooting guard?
Porter Jr. is there a small forward or shooting guard,
Oh, okay.
and
All right.
and then Murray's a point guard because we literally have no other point guard.
I'm gonna go Donovan then, off rip, because based how on the Cavs ended last season, I don't think he's gonna want that again. So I think he'll have kind of a redemption season as well. And I feel like the Cavs are just too good to lose to the Knicks. I mean, they are, So I feel like he'll have that flame under him. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough because I want to say Anthony Edwards because I said he'd make an All NBA team, but I don't know if he'd be All NBA first team as a shooting guard. I think Devin Booker would take that.
See, I wanted to say Devin Booker or Ant, but then Donovan Mitchell is the guy on the Cavs, and Devin Booker on the Suns might not be that guy anymore, just because there's two other ball heavy people. And then
I think
he said.
I think he
KD
is.
said two. So if D Book is still one, that would be the instance I picked Devin Booker. But
yeah.
I
If D
think
Book
he
is for
is,
sure
but-
still one, then I'll pick Devin Booker. Yeah.
I think me personally, I feel like Devin Booker's in the same boat as KD. Not necessarily a regular season player per se, but like I feel like he just has more to prove, especially after that finals run they went on,
Mhm.
It was a completely different team, don't get me wrong. But I don't know, I just feel like I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I just feel like him and KD, I guess being on the Suns is just kind of like there's a lot to see,
Yeah.
Also, I feel like we're forgetting Bradley Bill's on the team, so will Devin Booker even be a shooting guard coming up?
Bradley Beal was announced as the point guard for the Suns.
Oh, really? I didn't even see
Really?
that. Yeah, that's odd.
That's weird.
That's
It's
so
possible
odd.
because he's been doing it, but like to be marked as a point guard is weird.
Yeah,
That's
because
gonna be a cheat code in fantasy, though. That's gonna that's gonna be
Eugenie.
I can only imagine. That's gonna be crazy.
Eugenie. I also want to say, because I was gonna bring up another point, how we haven't mentioned Bradley Bill or Zach LaVine, and for the first time in like years, Zach LaVine and Bradley Bill have been considered top shooting guards, and neither have come up.
The Bulls they're done, bro.
They're lost.
they're done,
God.
bro.
Yeah,
Like we were saying top 6 teams, they're not in there, bro.
We didn't even mention DeMar either.
He's on the Bulls, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, rough. A rough time to be a Bulls fan for sure.
just like the Magic had a bunch of point guards, they got a bunch of shooting guards.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we also got some young ones that we didn't really talk about. Desmond Bain, Tyrese Maxey. If if we're looking at this next season, like how big of a jump are they taking? Will they be in that conversation for like a Devin Booker or Donovan Mitchell among the shooting guard grades at least?
See, it's hard to say.
I mean, me personally, I think Donovan will make a pretty big jump. Maybe not numbers wise, but playing wise. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, like
But
contribute a lot more.
yeah, like I feel like I don't know. If I lost to the Knicks like that, bro, I would
I'm
be
heated.
so pissed. I would be so pissed. It's like, and this is not even like the Knicks hate. It's just like they got swept like 4-0 or was it 4-1?
No, it was
Gentlemen
4-1.
swept.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, it still all hits the same, you know? So it's
True.
like, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like he'll just come out better. He'll probably score a little bit more. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like he'll make a maybe not even a significant jump, but you'll see his level of play would have gotten to a higher level.
I think there's two sides to that. As Donovan Mitchell probably is my favorite shooting guard playing right now, but at the same time, I could see him either being motivated to play harder, play more, build more in the game, or I can see him being upset about being on the Cavs and maybe not seeing improvements on the roster or just as a team as a whole, and it kind of like affecting his play.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've seen that in the past, be it Kyrie on the Celtics or Blake Griffin on the Pistons. Now, I don't think he's that type of guy, but you know, I can see him just being where he remains as opposed to like getting even better, you know.
Yeah. I'm really just stuck between Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell. Because I just think Ant has to play out of his mind to get first team. Like he has to have an insane season to get first team.
If they got rid of Rudy Gobert, I think he could do it. But then
Oh,
it just
for sure.
clogs the paint. He just makes it so much harder for Anthony. Like,
Yeah, if they weren't playing two bigs, I think it would be a different story. I'm gonna go with Donovan Mitchell because that's just I just don't think that I just honestly can't I don't believe in the Suns, honestly. I just think I want to see how they work together before I say Devin Booker is gonna be the top shooting guard.
Right. Like I
And with,
don't want to completely knock him, but it's just like
I
there's a lot to see.
yeah, especially because I was going into this thinking Devin Booker was gonna be a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's also changes how I'm going to see it with Bradley Beal as the point. It's going to be interesting to see how that team plays for sure. With Donovan Mitchell, I honestly see him stepping up a lot more and just straight like just having another insane season because his season last year was also he had a 70-point game, like
yeah.
and that was his first year with the Cavs. So
Mhm.
I think chemistry year 2 a bitter loss. I honestly see him getting better rather than getting worse or staying stagnant.
Do you see? Well, I don't think he's going to get 70 a game, but do you see like a
Oh yeah,
60 point
I
game this season from him?
I see that's hard. But I see multiple 50-point. I'm putting it on the board. I think he's gonna at least have 3 50-point games this year.
He's totally capable of it, but like if he does have to go score 50 to win a game, I feel like it's a bad indication of how the team is doing.
Well,
You know?
I mean, his 70-point game, he almost had a triple double, and Jarrett Allen and
That's
other
true.
players are doing good too. So I necessarily wouldn't say that because like his 70-point game wasn't like we need to win this game. It was more so he just caught on fire and no one could stop him.
I'll say like that. I feel like that just depends on chemistry, you know?
Yeah.
Like okay, Devin Booker's 70-point game. They lost, you know?
Yeah.
So like that he's not in that situation, but if it came to that, then I would start to question it.
I think more than like seeing those big high scoring games, I'd like to see his assist numbers go up because now
That would be nice.
got shooters around him. So I think that just gives him more
Yeah.
leeway what to do on offense.
And their
That's
pick
just
and
the
roll
biggest
could be insane with Mobley and Allen.
Yeah. That's what I meant when I said he will contribute more. Is that instead of just getting the points, I think I can see him getting assists, like his assist numbers going up for sure. I just think chemistry is gonna be. Hopefully chemistry is gonna be better in my opinion.
Mhm.
So who are we going with? Is it Donovan
It's
Mitchell?
already 2-1 Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, that's right. I thought you were still on the fence. My bad. Okay, Donovan Mitchell. And then lastly, point guard.
Ooh.
Another tough one.
I'm gonna go Jamal. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of
Really?
same arguments as Jokic, honestly. You know, fresh off the ring, they had the 1 seed the entire season last year. Did y'all add or subtract anyone?
I honestly don't know.
I mean, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, it's
So,
been kind of quiet.
assuming that they did not, I don't see why they can't do the same thing again, even with all of these changes. You know, between conferences. Um, will his game be elevated? Who knows? You know, he's still, you know, recovering from his injury or whatever. But I don't know. I like Jamal. I was gonna place him at shooting guard, but
The only reason why I'm not saying Jamal is because he wasn't even the best point guard last year. And so
but he was fresh off of injury though. Like he literally just came back.
yeah, but like I just Jamal, don't get me wrong, he's my favorite player on the team. I like him more than Jokic. But I just think because he's playing with Jokic, he doesn't have as much responsibilities. So therefore I just can't see him being the best point guard. Now, if we're doing second stringers, I have Jamal all the way. But
I think
just
he does though, bruh. He just got a different bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, Jokic can do everything. You know, rebound, pass, shoot, score, whatever. But
I also think if we had a point guard, he wouldn't even be point guard. He would be shooting guard. Like I'm
Like,
saying,
yeah, if the team had a different point guard player.
yeah, like if our team had like a worthy starting point guard, he wouldn't be point guard. He would be shooting guard.
like
Because that's
who?
how he plays.
I honestly I don't think so.
Like if we had, this is like an over exaggeration, but if we had
Yeah.
like Drew Holiday, Dame, like literally any starting point guard, Jamal Murray would be a shooting guard.
I don't know.
I don't
I feel
know,
like he
bruh.
plays off ball well with Jokic, but if he was playing off ball with Jokic and another point guard, he wouldn't be as
Like as
uh,
effective.
as effective as he is. But I do think in terms of best point guard in the league, it's hard because he is competing against Jokic. It's hard to look like best of your category if you already have the best of your category on your roster. Like the best center in the league is already there. It's kind of hard to have both.
Mm-hmm.
But I was considering Dame for a second, and that's like the total counter argument of that. So it'd be Dame playing guard with best power forward. So you might have
Okay.
something there.
I have 2 points because Bond said my pick because I made my list before Dame was traded. I was gonna say Dame.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
plus-
That's
and-
crazy.
And plus, Jamal Murray in Kentucky was a shooting guard.
No, I know. That's why I was gonna put Jamal Murray at shooting guard, but then y'all said he was point guard, so I
mean,
put
yeah,
him at
but
point guard.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's why I also think he can't be the best point guard because I honestly, with my whole heart, believe that if we had a wordy when Campazzo was there, Jamal Murray was a shooting guard. That's
Bro.
even though I'm a Campazzo hater. When we were putting Campazzo in the starting lineup, Jamal Murray was a shooting guard. Anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah, I was gonna say Dame before he was traded because I honestly last year Dame had an amazing season. He unfortunately got injured later in, so we couldn't see him finish off the season as strong as he started. But I just think he's just the point guard every team kind of wants. He's kind of like Curry in that sense. Like Curry's a point guard everyone wants. I think him getting traded to the Bucks does hurt my argument, like Bond said too. Because like with Drew, as he complimented Giannis so well, I just think with Dame, he is a really really good point guard, but he's like he's not like a point guard that I can really see compliment Giannis like you know what I'm saying? Like I think he can compliment Giannis, but I don't think Giannis can compliment him if that makes sense.
Yeah, because like Giannis is that first option or whatever.
Yeah. But I was gonna say Dame. I kind of don't know who I'm gonna say now.
It's tough because we haven't even really mentioned Steph or Luca
I was gonna say, like, I mean,
Or
Curry,
Ja.
I wouldn't be mad at Curry.
or Ja. True.
Ja, okay. See, Ja is interesting because he's out for
Half the
damn near half the season. So that one's a little tough.
There could be like I could see the Grizzlies being iffy and early without Ja. Like every one they win, they lose, just like the Hawks last year. And then Ja comes in and they just start going on crazy winning streaks.
That's the only
And-
reason I could see Ja in this
Yeah.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you count SGA as a point guard, SGA is there.
Yeah.
I think that's just
But,
the Thunder for me.
You said
Yeah.
what?
I think that's just the Thunder for me. Like them just being young and whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be I couldn't really put SGA over someone like Steph right now, even though SGA has like probably a wider skill set. It's just Steph is so good at what he does.
Steph had
it's all time.
one of his better seasons last year. Was the
Mhm.
reason why the Warriors even got to the second round.
Right.
So it's hard because I'm thinking my mind is going Dame, Luca, Curry. I would like those are the three, and like I came in here thinking Dame all the way, and then like he got traded, and so now I'm like, I don't know. I still want to say Dame. Like if someone else was gonna say Dame, I was gonna just like, okay, I'm gonna stick with Dame, but it's like it's hard.
I'm
'Cause
trying
dude,
to think of like what improvements the teams that Luca and Steph are on that are going to complement them better and make them look
Yeah.
better, even team records. Like,
Yeah.
are they going to have more success this season?
Yeah, because like, do
Okay,
you hold
I'll
Mavs?
say if we're counting Murray as a shooting guard, I'll say Luka as a point guard. That'll be my
Yeah.
pick.
Because like, do we hold the team record? I get like that's not Luca's fault at all.
No, it's not.
Yeah, like Luca had a record-breaking triple-double and still barely won in overtime. But also, how is he gonna play with Kyrie? You know?
For a full season. I really do think they could complement each other. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they get defense around them, like the only one I think they got was like Grant Williams, and he's like a big body you can put on someone. But like,
Mhm.
who else did they add that's going to help fix their defense issue?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But even just looking at Luca, I might be leaning towards him as best point guard.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue against Luca. Like I'm not gonna argue against Luca. If yeah, like I just think he's also getting better. I mean, at FIBA he was going insane.
Right.
Yeah. 2024 best point guard. I could see it being Luca.
All right, sounds like we're going Luca then. With that, let's go through our starting five. See if we have any ones that we had a problem with, and then also maybe someone you feel like we left out. Why don't we start with the left out? Do you feel like we didn't mention anyone who should have been mentioned at all in any position?
I mean, I feel like there's a bunch of small forwards we left off the board, but I just can't think of any. I'm just blanking.
I'll look up small forwards.
The only one I could think of is Ingram.
Yeah,
No,
Brennan.
no. I'm
Best
sorry.
would be crazy.
Yeah, I know. I love Bi, but like,
Yeah, no, best, but like you said, left out at all. So I just the only one I think of is we didn't mention Ingram. Or
Mikal Bridges is the only other one, but like best in the NBA would be
right?
kind of.
you know who we didn't mention? Zion.
Oh, Zion.
No,
No.
Zion as best possible.
immediately.
Zion better than Giannis is
Oh
a
yeah.
hard sell.
Yeah, no. That's for sure. But like we didn't mention him at all.
I don't know. I feel like he's one of those players he has to prove himself as well. You know, it's like the first or what was it? The second half of his first season, amazing. You know, and then he got hurt again, and then came back a little bit, got hurt again. You know, so I feel like he's. I just want to see one full season. That's all I want. You know.
Yeah, because even his third season, the Pelicans were high up there when they were all playing.
Right.
And
It
then
was like they didn't need him. You know.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Best might be a little crazy, but CJ.
CJ McCollum.
He did have a solid year. I think Best is a little considering of all the people who we like could say. I think
I mean, I would put James Harden over CJ.
That's true. James Harden as well.
yeah, that's very true.
I mean, I was never gonna say him, but Karl Anthony Towns. He's never really in that discussion, but he's a player.
Okay, but see, I feel like he could be. If he took basketball seriously, I feel like he could be. Like,
What about the East guards? I mean, we left off Trey Young and DeJounte Murray.
And
we
Jalen
didn't-
Brunson.
Left off Jalen Brunson. We didn't even mention Halliburton. Like we didn't mention a single Pacer.
I don't know. Pacers and Hawks is just like
I think Tyrese Halliburton has the potential to be a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander of the East, but it would still be tough putting him over guys like Stephen.
right
Yeah.
down the line for sure. You know,
Yeah.
even Trey. But right now it's just kind of like guards. You know, the league is just so guard heavy right now, and like every guard is good.
It's insane.
So
like we could probably list off most guards who went into the playoffs. Like, you know, like the Aaron Fox we could have mentioned. But it's just like there's so many point guards and shooting guards that are just so good. What about Austin Reeves, Eugene?
No. Best on the team, maybe, but that's as far as he's going.
All right. So our center, Jokic, our power forward, Giannis, our small forward, Jason Tatum, our shooting guard, Donovan Mitchell, and our point guard, Luka Doncic. 3 foreign players.
That's nasty.
Every year, the foreign players on this list gets more and more.
Hey, man. They got the secret stuff out there, bro.
No, for real.
Do
Let us know.
you know what our top 5 was last year? How different it was?
I got to look on Twitter because
I
we
think
posted a graphic.
center was Joel Embiid, wasn't it? Center was Joel Embiid, then Giannis, then I want to say LeBron, and then I can't remember what point guard, shooting guard was.
When did we do it?
We did it around this time last year.
All stars, trades.
There we go. So we had. So this is okay. Yeah. So we had Curry as point guard, Luka as shooting guard, LeBron at small forward, Giannis at power forward, and Jokic at center. So
Okay.
only people who didn't make it is Curry and LeBron.
Which
And that's like a given, you know? Like,
yeah. Which team, if they're going head to head, is beating the other? Like I know we got repeats, but like, which one would beat the other team?
Ooh.
Luka and Donovan versus Curry and who?
Curry and Luka.
Jesus.
So I think it would be Jokic v Jokic, Giannis v Giannis, Jason versus LeBron, Donovan versus Luka, and Luka versus Curry.
I think that Luka Curry team with LeBron, I feel like
Yeah.
they're winning. They might edge it out a little bit.
Yeah,
There's more playmaking going on there.
especially because that's just like Luka and Curry on the same team is insane.
On top
Bro.
of LeBron and Giannis and Jokic, bro.
That's an all-star.
That's four
Yeah.
team captains on the same team.
Yep. Yeah, I got to give it to last year's as well. And it's because last year we weren't counting Luka as a point guard.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
yeah, I think if Luka was a point guard last year, it would look very different.
And we actually decided to keep LeBron and Curry off this year.
Yeah,
So-
like you said, like it's we can't do them again. Yeah, well, that's it for us today. Next week is a return of our favorite thing we did last year. Definitely gonna be kind of different from last year for sure, but I think it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what happens. If you are listening on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments below what you think of our starting 5, if you disagree or agree. If you're listening on Spotify or any podcast platform, make sure you give us that good old 5 stars and leave a review. Let us know. Same thing. Did you hate our starting 5? Did you love it? We're on all social media platforms at Spin the Rock, so make sure you follow us there for clips and episode updates. Thank you for listening. We'll see you again next week. Spin the wheel.
Let's go. Been waiting all off season just to pull the Pacers again.
Oh no. Oh.